Welcome back to my channel. Today we explore the value of specific coins. The top for Washington silver $quarter coins, value in today's market. So let's get started. First up, the 1983 Washington quarter with the Denver Mint mark, often referred to as the 1983D quarter, may appear like just another pocket change coin to the casual observer. However, for collectors and numismatists, it holds a special place due to its unique circumstances, historical context, and collectible value. In this video, we will take a closer look at why the 1983D Washington quarter is considered valuable, especially in worn condition, and how much it's worth in today's coin market. The Washington Quarter Series began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Originally, these quarters were struck in 90% silver until 1964. Starting in 1965, the composition changed to a copper-nickel clad due to the rising cost of silver. The 1983D quarter is one of these clad coins, meaning it contains no silver content. So why would such a coin be valuable? To understand the value of the 1983D Washington quarter, we must look at the context of coin production in the early 1980s. The United States Mint faced budget constraints, and in 1982 and 1983, the Mint did not produce official uncirculated mint sets for collectors. This decision had a lasting effect on the availability of high-quality coins from those years. Without mint sets, collectors had no easy access to coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, making those years particularly scarce in higher grades. Most coins minted in 1983, including the 1983D quarter, went directly into circulation. As a result, the vast majority of these coins became worn over time through everyday use. This heavy circulation reduced the number of well-preserved examples available to collectors today. So even though the 1983D quarter was struck in large numbers, over 617 million pieces, the number of surviving coins in excellent condition is relatively low. This has led to increased interest and value, especially for coins that remain in better condition despite the odds. But the focus of this video is on the 1983D quarter in worn or circulated condition, the type of coin you might still find in your pocket change today. Even in worn condition, these coins can be worth more than their face value, although not dramatically so. The primary value in a circulated 1983D quarter comes from its scarcity relative to collector demand, not from its metal content. Untypical circulated condition. A 1983D Washington quarter might show noticeable signs of wear. These include flattening of the high points in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers on the reverse side. Despite the wear, collectors may still be interested in such a coin if it retains full rims, has no significant damage, and displays a clear mint mark and date. As of today's market, the value of a 1983D quarter, in average worn condition generally, ranges from 30 cents to around $1. This range depends on the level of wear, overall eye appeal, and demand among collectors. Coins that are closer to the higher end of circulated grades, such as very fine or extremely fine, might be worth closer to $1, especially if they have no major blemishes. That said, there are a few specific traits and anomalies that can increase the value of a 1983D quarter, even in circulated condition. One such example is the presence of errors or die varieties. Errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, or clipped planchets can attract collectors who specialize in error coins. While these are not common, when found, they can significantly increase a coin's value, sometimes reaching into the tens or even hundreds of dollars depending on the severity and visibility of the error. Another factor that might elevate the value of a worn 1983D quarter is its provenance. For example, if the coin has been part of a notable collection, or if it has been certified and graded by a reputable third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC, it might attract higher offers. Even in circulated condition, certification can boost the perceived value by confirming authenticity and preserving the coin in a tamper-evident holder. A point worth discussing is the role of demand in driving prices. The numismatic market is influenced by trends, and there has been growing interest in collecting complete day-10 mint mark sets of Washington quarters. Collectors aiming to assemble a full set that includes every year and mint combination will need a 1983D coin. Due to the lack of mint sets that year, finding a decent example can be more difficult than other modern dates, pushing up the price even for circulated coins. Additionally, some collectors focus on so-called conditional rarities coins that are not rare in number but are rare in high quality due to circulation where, although this does not directly affect the value of worn coins, it does increase overall interest in coins from this date and mint, adding a small premium to even the more common circulated examples. It is also important to distinguish between circulated coins and coins in mint state condition. While worn examples of the 1983D quarter can be worth up to $1, coins that are uncirculated and have been graded MS65 or higher by a reputable grading company can sell for significantly more. For instance, an MS-65 coin might be worth $20 to $30, and higher grade examples can bring even more at auction. However, those are rare and outside the scope of this discussion. In summary, the 1983D Washington quarter is not valuable because of its metal content or because it is rare in terms of mintage numbers. Instead, its value lies in the scarcity of well-preserved examples due to the absence of official mint sets in 1983. This has created a market where even circulated coins are of interest to collectors. If you come across one of these coins in your change, it's worth holding on to, especially if it is in decent shape, while you are unlikely to get rich from a single worn 1983D quarter. Its value above face value reflects broader trends in the coin collecting world. It teaches us that history, minting decisions, and collector demand can all influence the worth of what might seem like a common coin. If you're interested in coin collecting or already have a collection, the 1983D quarter is certainly a piece to look out for and appreciate. Next up, the 1974 Washington quarter without a mint mark. We'll examine what makes this coin interesting, whether it contains silver, what factors affect its value, and what you can realistically expect to receive if you have one in your collection. Today, let's begin with the basics. The Washington quarter was first issued in 1932. To commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, it quickly became a permanent fixture of U.S. coinage and has remained in circulation ever since, though it has undergone several design and composition changes over the decades. The 1974 Washington quarter is one of the last of the pre-bicentennial quarters, as 1975 and 1976 featured the special bicentennial reverse design. The 1974 quarter features the familiar image of George Washington on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan. On the reverse side, we see the heraldic eagle clutching arrows, with olive branches beneath it, also designed by Flanagan. This reverse design was used from 1932 until the introduction of the state quarters in 1999. Now, one of the most frequently asked questions about the 1974 quarter is whether it contains any silver. The short and simple answer is no. The U.S. Mint stopped producing circulating silver quarters after 1964. From 1965 onward, quarters were made from a clad composition consisting of copper and nickel. So, the 1974 quarter is made of copper-nickel clad, not silver, unless it is a very specific collector's item, which we'll discuss later. The next point of interest is the absence of a mint mark. If your 1974 quarter does not have a mint mark, it means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1974, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 801 million quarters. Because of this high mintage, the 1974 quarter without a mint mark is generally not considered rare. It's a common coin that you can still find in circulation today. So, what is its value in today's market? If you're holding a 1974 quarter without a mint mark that has been in circulation and shows typical signs of wear, the value is, for the most part, 25 cents. In normal damaged or worn condition, its value remains at face value. This means that most examples found in pocket change do not have any premium over their face value. However, there are exceptions based on condition, unique errors, or rare varieties. If you have a 1974 quarter that is in uncirculated or mint state condition, meaning it shows no signs of wear and retains its original luster, it can be worth more. In the coin collecting world, condition is graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating better preservation. A 1974 Washington quarter without a mint mark in MS62, MS63 condition may be worth between $1 and $5 depending on the buyer and the market. Coins graded MS65 or higher, which are coins with strong luster, minimal marks, and sharp details, can sell for $10 or more. A coin graded MS67 or higher, which is extremely well preserved and nearly flawless, can command even higher prices, potentially reaching $100 or more, but only in the highest possible grades. It's important to note that these values depend heavily on the coin grading system, collector demand, and market conditions. Coins certified by a third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC tend to sell for more, especially if they achieve high grades. Now let's talk about rare varieties and errors. While the standard 1974 quarter is quite common, certain error coins can carry significant value. These errors include off-center strikes, doubled dies, clipped planchettes, or coins struck on the wrong planchet. A doubled die obverse or reverse is when the coin was struck by a die that had been improperly manufactured, resulting in doubled features on the coin. These types of errors are uncommon, but collectors are always on the lookout for them. Another possibility is coins struck on silver planchette, though it is incredibly rare and unlikely. A few error coins from the 1970s have been discovered that were mistakenly struck on leftover silver planchettes from previous years. If a 1974 quarter was accidentally struck on a 40% silver plate, such as those used for 1970s half dollars, the coin would be significantly more valuable. These coins must be authenticated by a professional and weighed to confirm their composition, as the weight of a silver coin would differ slightly from the normal clad coin. To check whether your quarter might be silver by mistake, you can weigh it using a precise scale. A normal copper-nickel clad quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams, while a 90% silver quarter would weigh about 6.25 grams. Any deviation from the standard weight could be an indication of a wrong planchette error, though the chances of this happening are extremely low. If you're curious about whether your coin has any error or holds potential value above face value, consider having it evaluated by a reputable coin dealer or sending it to a professional grading service for authentication. So, to summarize, the 1974 Washington quarter without a mint mark and normal damaged or worn condition holds no special premium. It remains worth 25 cents. If the coin is in mint state condition or higher, its value can increase modestly, ranging from a few dollars up to over $100 for high-grade certified specimens. Rare errors or unique varieties can make the coin significantly more valuable, but those are exceptions and not the norm. If you're hoping to sell a standard circulated 1974 quarter, you likely won't find buyers offering more than face value. But if you enjoy coin collecting, even common coins like this can be a great way to start learning about history, minting practices, and grading systems. Over time, you may even come across something rare. Asterisk. Next up, the 1987 quarter minted in Denver. Identified by the D-Mint mark, and discuss whether it holds any special value in today's market. Specifically, we will examine the coin's characteristics, its mintage, and what factors influence its worth when found in good condition. We'll also clarify some misconceptions about silver content and help you understand whether the 1987D quarter is truly valuable or simply a common coin from circulation. First, let's begin by exploring the historical background of the Washington quarter. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932, originally intended to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. The obverse of the coin features a profile of George Washington based on a bust by sculptor Jean-Antoine Houdonc, designed by John Flanagan. This design became a standard and has undergone only minor modifications over the decades. The reverse originally featured an eagle with outstretched wings and olive branches beneath, symbolizing strength and peace. Now, focusing on the 1987 quarter specifically, it's important to understand its composition. By 1987, the United States Mint was producing quarters primarily composed of a copper-nickel clad, not silver. Many people mistakenly believe all older quarters contain silver, but that's not the case. Silver was removed from quarters starting in 1965. From 1965 onward, quarters were made using an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a core of pure copper. Therefore, the standard 1987D quarter does not contain any silver. The D-Mint mark on the coin indicates that it was produced at the Denver Mint. In 1987, the Denver Mint struck over 655 million quarters. With such a high mintage number, the 1987D quarter is generally considered common, because it was not part of a limited run or special series. Most circulated examples of this coin are readily available in the market and hold only face value. However, that doesn't mean there is no value to be found. When it comes to coin collecting, condition plays a key role. Coins are graded based on their condition, from circulated grades like good, very good, or fine, to higher grades such as extremely fine, about uncirculated, and uncirculated. Beyond those, coins are graded on a numerical scale known as the Sheldon scale, ranging from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS-65 or higher is typically considered mint state, meaning it shows no signs of wear and retains its original luster. A 1987 quarter, in good condition, that is, with visible wear but all major details still readable, does not generally command a high premium. In most cases, it may be worth only its face value of 25 cents. However, there are a few exceptions that can raise a coin's value, even for common dates like this one. These include errors, high grades, and unusual toning. Let's take a moment to discuss error coins. Error coins can result from misaligned dies, double strikes, off-center strikes, or other mistakes during the minting process. These kinds of errors are relatively rare, but they do occur. If a 1987D quarter exhibits a dramatic error, it could be worth more to collectors. For instance, an off-center strike or a double die obverse could fetch a higher price depending on the severity of the error and its overall appeal to collectors. Minor errors may increase the coin's value slightly, while more dramatic ones could raise the price into the tens or even hundreds of dollars, though such cases are not common. Another factor to consider is condition. Coins that have never entered circulation and have been preserved in mint condition can be worth more. A 1987D quarter in mint state condition, graded MS65 or higher, could sell for more than face value. According to data from coin grading companies and online auctions, a 1987D quarter-graded MS65 may sell for around $3 to $5. Higher grades, such as MS67 or MS68, can reach prices upwards of $20 or more, depending on demand and quality. However, such high-grade coins are relatively rare, and not all uncirculated coins automatically qualify for these top grades. Most coins from circulation are not in mint state condition and thus hold only nominal value. You may also come across coins with interesting or attractive toning. Toning occurs when a coin's surface reacts with the environment, developing hues of blue, gold, or purple. While toning doesn't always add value, some collectors are drawn to aesthetically pleasing examples, and these coins may sell for a premium. It's worth mentioning that some individuals believe they have found a silver version of the ND1987D quarter. This belief often stems from the coin's color or sound. However, the United States Mint did not issue any silver Washington quarters for circulation after 1964. Any silver 1987D quarter is either a mistake, such as a coin struck on the wrong planche pan, which is exceedingly rare. It may be a plated or altered coin, which typically holds little to no added value. If you suspect your coin is silver, you can weigh it. A standard copper-nickel quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, while a 90% silver quarter weighs around 6.25 grams. If your 1987D quarter weighs significantly more than 5.67 grams, it might be worth having it examined by a professional. In summary, the 1987D Washington quarter is a common coin. It was produced in large quantities and does not contain silver. In circulated condition, it is worth 25 cents. In mint state grades, especially those certified MS65 or higher, it may be worth a few dollars. In rare cases where a coin displays a significant mint error or exceptional toning, its value could increase. But these instances are the exception rather than the rule. If you own a 1987D quarter in good condition, it is a nice addition to a coin collection, especially for completing a date. However, it should not be considered a high-value coin unless it has been professionally graded and verified to have qualities that distinguish it from the rest. To conclude, while the 1987D quarter may not be a rare or highly valuable coin in most cases, understanding its background and evaluating its condition can help you determine its place in your collection. If you come across one in your pocket change, it's a small piece of American history and a reminder of the artistry and function of everyday currency. Next up, the 1990D Washington quarter is a coin that might look like just another piece of American pocket change, but in some cases, it can be more than that, especially to collectors and numismatists. In this video, we're going to take a close look at the 1990D Washington quarter, specifically one in extra fine condition, and break down what makes it valuable, how much it's worth in today's market, and what to watch for if you happen to come across one. First, let's talk about what the 1990D Washington quarter is. The coin was struck at the Denver Mint, indicated by the D Mint mark, located on the obverse side, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. It features the familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse, originally designed by John Flanagan and first used in 1932. The reverse design at the time still featured the heraldic eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch, which had been used for decades before the state quarters program began in 1999. Now, one important detail to clarify is that the 1990D Washington quarter was not minted in silver for general circulation. By 1990, the United States Mint had long since stopped producing 90% silver quarters for circulation. That change happened in 1965 when the mint switched to a clad composition of copper and nickel, due to rising silver prices and the cost of producing silver coins. So, if you come across a 1990D quarter, it is most likely made of the standard copper-nickel clad composition. That said, there are a few rare exceptions. The U.S. Mint did produce silver-proof sets in 1990, but those were struck at the San Francisco Mint and bear the S Mint mark. If you somehow have a 1990 quarter with a D Mint mark and it's truly made of silver, that would be considered a mint error or an off-metal strike, which is incredibly rare and potentially very valuable. However, it's crucial to have such a coin authenticated and tested by a reputable coin grading service or numismatic expert to confirm its composition. For the purposes of this video, let's assume we are discussing the standard 1990D Washington quarter, struck in copper-nickel clad, in extra fine condition. Extra fine, or XF, is a grade that suggests the coin has light wear on the highest points of the design, but still retains most of its details. There is still some luster, and the coin shows clear definition in areas like Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. It's not mint state, but it's well preserved. So, how much is a 1990D Washington quarter worth in extra fine condition in today's market? The short answer is, usually, just its face value, which is 25 cents. Because these coins were produced in large quantities, over 927 million at the Denver Mint alone, they are not rare. And because they are not made of silver, they do not carry any intrinsic bullion value. Still, there are exceptions based on collector interest and specific conditions. For example, some quarters from this year in mint may be slightly more desirable due to errors or other striking anomalies. Coins that feature double dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks may be of interest to era coin collectors and can sell for higher premiums, depending on severity and uniqueness. Let's take a moment to talk about population and availability. With nearly 1,190,000 quarters minted, the sheer volume of these coins in circulation means that even higher-grade examples are not hard to find. Most coin dealers and grading services agree that unless a 1990D quarter is in mint state 65 or better, or features a rare error, it is not worth submitting for grading because the market value will likely not justify the cost. That said, let's examine some actual market figures. As of today, a standard 1990D quarter in extra fine condition generally sells for around 30 to 50 cents in the collector market. Some dealers might sell them for a little more, especially if they are part of a date and mint mark collection. Still, these coins are considered very common, and demand is low. However, if the coin is in mint state, especially MS65 or better, then its value can increase significantly. In mint state 65, a 1990D Washington quarter might sell for about $5 to $10. Depending on the buyer and the seller, coins in MS67 condition have been known to sell for $50 or more. But such high grades are not typical and usually only appeal to advanced collectors working on registry sets. Again, if your coin has a known error such as a broad strike, off-center strike, or a notable die clash, its value can go up. Error coins are a separate market, and their prices vary widely depending on rarity, demand, and visual appeal. A 1990D quarter with a dramatic off-center strike, for example, might sell for $10 to $25 or more. Let's go back to the idea of a silver 1990D quarter. Although it's unlikely, there are always stories in numismatics of unusual pieces making their way into circulation due to mint errors or test strikes. If someone were to find a 1990D quarter that tested positive for silver content, it would almost certainly be an error coin and could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. However, this would require metallurgical testing and grading and authentication. Without such verification, any claim about silver content would remain speculative. In summary, a typical 1990D Washington quarter in extra fine condition holds only a small premium over face value, perhaps around 50 cents in a collector setting. Depending on demand, its real value comes into play only if the coin has an error, is in an uncirculated state with high grade, or if it were somehow made of silver, which would be highly unusual and likely the result of a mint mistake. So, should you keep or sell a 1990D quarter in extra fine condition? The answer depends on your interest in coin collecting. If you are putting together a complete set of Washington quarters by date and mint mark, it's definitely worth keeping. But if you're looking to profit, this coin by itself, in extra fine condition, is unlikely to bring significant money. To wrap up, the 1990D Washington quarter is a fascinating piece of modern American coinage history. While it's not particularly valuable in extra fine condition, it still has educational and historical worth. It also offers a great opportunity to learn about mint marks, coin grading, and the world of error coins. And who knows, you might just stumble across a rare variety or unusual composition that turns out to be worth much more than face value. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more coin collecting content. See you in next time. Happy collecting!